Welcome back to our weekly update. It looks like Divine Masculine is ready to change the path. Welcome back. As scheduled, yes, we do have Super Chats weekly, and one session a month is hosted via our YouTube membership. If you do want to become part of the Super Chats, click onto the video that will be premiered and you may join us for our Super Chats. All information for Super Chat payments are within the comment box. Without further ado, let's take a look at the weekly energy for the Twin Flame path. Now, I did select a ruin cast this week. I thought it was quite important moving into the following month, especially as this energy is quite fluid. And depending on where we are, always refer back to the previous week to see how far you've come and how those things have played out for you. Sometimes we can be ahead. Now, this ruin cast spiritually does link to the following: on the mundane, flexibility, endurance, protection, change, empowerment, problem solving, which I really did see astrologically with Saturn going retrograde, Neptune retrograde. We were going to have a lot of clarity, especially to do with that spiritual connection, our hopes, dreams, aspirations. Venus in the house of Leo, Mars in the house of Leo, gearing up, ready to go retrograde for Venus. So I do feel there's a lot of changes happening with Divine Feminine, but collectively it is to do with our relationships, partnerships, and contracts. And I do feel there's something to do with whatever, it's a little bit like, what mountain are you willing to die on spiritually? What's your passion? What's your drive? What are you willing to do? And a lot of clarity and light bulb moments. This is a week I would highly advise to use crystals, to keep your fluid up, to avoid pacifiers if possible. Also to prepare yourself, really having a crystal grid in your room, making sure that you're protecting yourself. And if you are tuning into the karmic energy, you can at times, when a person is of a lower frequency, especially coming from a psychic medium, giving you tips there, to protect yourself. Sometimes if you do find your attitude shifts, it can be a good time to actually drink fluid, have a shower, smudge your head if you find that you're starting to exhibit kind of demeanors of a karmic. So it can be if suddenly your attitude shifts, the dynamic and the energy in your home shifts, if you're having trouble sleeping, really creating a crystal grid, maybe putting a bowl of salt water under your bed so it neutralizes that frequency, and do it for about a week, and that can kind of protect you, especially from night terrors, etc. Now, on a mundane level, as mentioned, it's to do with flexibility, endurance, protection, change, power, problem solving. Esoterically, it's magical empowerment, psychic protection. There you go. We touch base on it. Spiritual attainment. Now, in reverse, it connects to disorientation, vulnerability, and death. But again, I feel this is more to do with the ascension process. It's like, is something ending? Something's, some of us are really knowing spiritually, really from our guides. And the crowning frequency for the card in the native animal cards is talking stick, which is to do with Mercury, but it's also that psychic energy. It's the spiritual realm, it's the 5D. And when we're stuck in between, you get 3D, which is the physical realm. It's more, okay, the hunter-gatherer of the things that we do. We then go into the 4D. It can be the fair-base frequency. It can also interfere with us because we are in between two worlds. It's like a soul walk-in. And then you move to the 5D, you see the highest octane of the dream state and the way you want this connection to be, or a 3D circumstance in your life. So on the 4D, yes, can we fall into shadow energy of feeling fair-base frequency, conditioning? 100%. With the joint connection, we have the moon energy is the crown, okay? So overall, it can be inside our emotions, inside our feelings, inside our home and our conditioning. We are looking to ascend to a higher level within the connection. Now, the appearance of this ruin cast is often to be an indicator of an ending of something, so a death and an ending of something. Now, sometimes these endings can be super positive. It's like, right, something is coming to an end. We're spiritually coming to terms with it. We're opening into a new chapter. We're feeling apprehensive. We do have the retrogrades, which is the greatest time to reflect upon those points. It's the greatest time to reassess maybe the methods we've been taking, the feelings we've been embodying, the belief systems we have been in that vibration of. The ending of a relationship, but more usually it is a sign of protection and empowerment, often in magical nature. We can allow the access into our deeper mysteries of life and death, which is so Scorpionic, and Pluto currently in the house of Capricorn is bringing those things. It's like endings, new beginnings. We're going to get a bit more of Lady Luck moving into July. There can be some very testing frequencies, but we will touch base on that as we are entering into that new nodal cycle spiritually, especially linking to the twin flame path astrologically. So this corresponds to somewhere in between I and E. And I did say, you know, when a soul walk in, we're kind of understanding we can't go completely back to the past. We can access information and ways in which we were from their lessons, i.e., the other thing is we are moving to the future, like the Fool card in Tarot, but kind of feeling like we're in between a rock and a hard place. It's like, okay, we can't go back. We know that's outdated. We're piggy in the middle of a circumstance. We're having to make some spiritual changes, 3D changes, and we're feeling apprehensive in the mix of it. This does also link to both sorcery, hunting, Gaia, and Odin, which uniquely enough in the 12th house, Saturn is sitting there. So we're having to take accountability. And in our minds, we're saying to ourselves in the spiritual connection, what part do I have? What part does the other have? Is this maturing? This astrologically does link to Scorpio. Also, black being that we do need to, as we are in Hades energy, we do need to protect ourselves psychically, and using you can use obstinine, tourmaline. I probably wouldn't use amethyst if you are finding your third eye and your crown chakra is like opening and closing and you can't control it. You're having night terrors. Not a good time to use amethyst. I'll probably move away from that, clear it and use it later. More so, I would use clear quartz, citrine for courage and for detoxing. And you can also, just really protect yourself through that, doing a home clearing to prepare yourself as we move direct. But earthing yourself in, getting into earth hurts as we are moving into this brand new chapter. Now, I'm going to get into the channeled messages of what I see for the joint connection, and then we'll look at each side of the fence and how I see each individual really operating in this. I do directly believe that we are going to have communication, either of a 3D or a download, but I do feel this is towards our throat chakra is speaking our truth. There can be a lot of higher heart chakra clearing in the joint connection. And I do see us spiritually having some breakthroughs. Now, in the joint connection, we are coming back to our conditioning. I'm also feeling situations to do with our environments. As our home, it's, getting out and about. And I do feel a very, very heightened emotion. We can be very protective at this point. This can be towards our own way of living and being and our ideals. And I do feel this assertive vibration coming through in the joint connection. I also feel that I'm seeing for the direct connection is home is where the heart is, but we may feel a little bit apprehensive and we do need to express what those personal needs are. This would be a great time to do some journaling because a lot of times we don't actually understand our psyche until we put it down on pen to paper. You could also do an audio and listen back to it. Pardon me, because like I said, many times we don't understand the things that are triggering us the most, the beliefs that we have. I do feel there's an ending. And I'm looking to the past position here for the joint connection. And it's we have the death card. Again, very Scorpionic, very, very much feeling, okay, it's over. We've made it through a storm. We're getting to a point we have to accept what was done. And it can feel almost like this defeat. It's funny because the crowning energy is actually showing you that you have more tools, okay? Go back to the Katy Perry song, It's Never Really Over, because spiritually, in a twin flame path, you guys are joint. You're not really going to lose each other. There's a reason you're in each other's lives. You can't lose each other. The only time we tend to lose each other is when we've lost that sense of self and then, it's kind of distorted. But there is a tower moment coming, okay? And there's this intuitive feeling of, I I need to pull something down. I need to change the way I'm doing something. And I think for many of you, this could be a positive thing. This also can be a deeply intuitive thing that is going on. And I feel some of you could be tuning into your counterpart of something that they're directly going through, thus the reason to protect yourself psychically. This is going to usher in the connection, okay? This is going to bring about a brand new chapter in connections. And again, this could signify the person directly turning up at your house, but I do feel very strongly this week we have a lot to do with family, tribe, and location. I'm seeing the crowning energy here of the moon. I'm seeing the future tense of the joint connection, and again, the moon. And we do see the chariot at the foundation. Okay, so definitely something to do with home, family, mother. We could have some surprise pregnancies. We could have revelations of such in the mix, and sudden changes within karmic situational shifts that do move this very quickly. Now, I am seeing an offer coming in here towards the joint connection and divine masculine really going from a page to a king, which I think is very positive. I do directly feel there is, whatever this is going to be massive growth. And I do feel this is inside of divine masculine, having revelations of what they need. I feel there's a lot of headaches coming through for them at the minute. I'm getting a lot of third eye even tuning into them. So they're really studying very hard, seeing things very cautiously, frustrated to the core. But definitely there's a transformation of them. It's like a rebirth. And I do see them moving in very quickly. I also feel some of them could be making decisions because they're feeling divine feminine walking away. And in the mix of it, they need to make a decision so that they can have their ship, but they're being extremely rational. I definitely feel a lot of third eye for them in the mix of this. On this occasion, we are going to look at their cards first. Last week we looked at divine feminines. This week I felt intuitively to look at divine masculines. Now I'm noticing the star card coming through, and the first thing that my guides asked me to do this week was to pull the cards and to have them all in the upright, and there was a very significant reason why, and I think it is because we are going into a new chapter when we need really ultimate clarity of what directly is happening and how to deal with it. I do see whatever this tower is going back to the joint connection. Sometimes that can be divine feminine saying, okay, if you're not ready and you know, wherever you are, I'm pulling the tower down. I jump back to divine masculine's cards and I physically can see the star card, and we always get the star card after the tower. So whatever this is, it's almost like the art of appreciation. You don't know what you've got till it's gone. And this person really has you very solidly in their heart, and they feel very lost without you. And they do feel this judgment that they're really running out of time. This judgment energy of the past is maybe their judgment was off. Maybe some of those things they were dealing with, maybe thinking that you had lots of patience or that you can handle something. They are seeing you is a very, as a high priestess, intuitive, logical. Sometimes, yes, it could be that they actually have placed you on a pedestal, and that not necessarily is a good or a bad thing. Although you are human, and I think they do need to see you of such. You have become the empress and the high priestess frequency because of the adversity you've been through. And you do have a lot more tools, but they do have a deep attraction to you. They do have a deep pull towards you, especially where it does come to advice. They could be up at night thinking about you quite a bit and thinking about the circumstances that you've lived, the things that you've gone through. And I feel they're comparing notes, but they also wonder how you tick. It's like how you tick, why you do the things you do, and how you attain to the tools that you do. They do feel as though at times you are very firm and you could have anyone you really want, but you're very selective. Some of them are wondering if you have moved forward. But again, I really feel this is more towards them. It's like you see them in a very positive light. It's not to say you don't see the more negative tones of your behavioral patterns that they either did exhibit or are exhibiting. It's more that you see the highest potential that this can be and you're acquiring such. I do feel many of you are giving this person their power back, and it's like, do it with what you will. I know where I'm going. I know what I want. We will look at your cards shortly. Whatever you're doing, it's actually triggering them. But I do feel they're seeing the frustration, but definitely in their own personal life, they're realizing, what's worth fighting for. And I do directly see they're seeing in the higher octane in their heart center, their commitment, their goal. Everything they've wanted is really in you. But they may have started circumstances elsewhere at a point, and that could have caused some kind of delays. Let's take a look. Yeah, again, this is the second reading that I've got the message to do with July. Whatever intuitive energies you guys are getting to make adjustments, trust it, please, because I do feel it's preparing you for July. I do feel there is a burden that divine masculine has been carrying, and they know deep down it's not sustainable. So whatever this is, it is ushering in a new dynamic. They feel that they would be a lot stronger if they dumped some of the junk. And that could have been people's expectations, people's needs. There is a brand new chapter here, and they are rising above the Ten of Wands. Okay, I don't know how they're going from the Ten of Wands. Like, they're truly believing they can handle this. I feel this is to do with the Tower. It's almost permission based. It's like, look, how do I put it? Let's come back here. The Tower, okay? Death and the Tower. All the retrogrades, the eclipses over the last 2 months, and then we came into June, and it's like D-Day. It's like, okay, we need to look at this. There's challenges, there's adversity, there's lessons we learned. After all that was said and done, where do we stand in this? For Divine Feminine, they may have had Tower moments, and it could have just been simply exhaustion and disillusionment. A lot of times we're taken out of a situation of being maybe an enabler, an empath, so that this lesson can be culminated and wrapped up very tightly with a bow. Also, the demeanor we take on, we don't actually realize that this demeanor attitude, the way we directly relate to one another, it brings the conflict back up. And some statement pieces, either side of the fence, usually come about to help the other ascend. And I do feel that whatever this is, it's been going in circles for a while, but I do feel this is a big change. Now, going back to the masculines cards, I do feel at a foundation level, they've been overzealous. It's no, we can do both. I can bring these worlds together. I can, tidy up the karmic cycle in a very neat bow, and I still can make this happen. And I think there was this revelation over the last few months that you can't make everyone happy, and there is going to be a brand new beginning, but a choice and a line in the sand is going to be drawn. I do directly feel they're having this deeper understanding that if they maintain what they are doing right now, it's going to run them down. It's going to be unmanageable. If they're truthful and they come back into their heart space, they're actually going to get the Star card. So they're really looking at, okay, what is going to take me to this success and what's really taking me to my bliss? And in the heart of it, we do have Divine Feminine. Divine Feminine, on the other hand, we'll look at your crowning energy. You guys are looking at this from the Ace of Swords. You're trying to be strong. Again, these headaches, you could be getting a lot of psychic downloads. You're trying to have the courage. You're being more assertive. Again, we could have had issues to do with maybe karmics and parenting and families and mother energy. And really what you're wanting to do, you might have done the whole lot of it. The white picket fence, the marriage for some of you. You might have wanted these things. And you have been an ascended energy for a while, and now it could be that you're taking on a new role, and you want a celebration, you want to have fun. You don't want just the pretty wrapping paper, you want the internal content that comes with it. So there's got to be so much more than this. A lot of you are thinking, gosh, I want to dance to the beat of my own drum. I want to be different. This could be actually challenging divine masculine, because divine feminine has this image of happiness in her life, of where she is in her life and what she's wanting. And her chapter is changing, and the note of it, the sound of it, the tone of it, the environment of it is all changing. And so divine masculine's getting a bit triggered here, because all of what you had on offer for so long, which was maybe, let's get married, let's have kids, let's be together, whatever that was, the fairy tale. And not always is that a fairy tale for some, but it was on offer. This could have been very understanding and empathetic towards their family and towards karmics, towards children. Where divine feminine is now is what serves me best. Where do I want to dance to the beat of my drum? What's taking me to my bliss? When am I going to get my happy story? Do I just need to go out and be a solo energy and have some fun and embody a bit of the old vibration of divine masculine? There's some lesson involved in this. And some of you could be thinking, okay, these really weird synchronistic events are happening. Am I being spiritually tested? Is this some sort of test? I do feel to a degree you're like, you know what you're worth. I don't know why I get this major conversation that happens. This could be a bump into a person. This could be an opportunity that looks too good to be true. And you could be getting up in your head, but you're saying to yourself at a foundation level, am I sabotaging openings? Am I sabotaging new beginnings? Am I fighting for the right thing? And I think there's a pause, but I do directly feel there could be some information through the grapevine that's coming through that is kind of pulling you backwards and maybe creating this tower. For some of you, it could be a surprise on both sides, but I definitely feel whatever this is information and gossip coming in. Good luck. I wish you the very best. If you do want to join our super chats, come through and click the bell on the video. All information for the payments, either via PayPal, credit card, or YouTube, is in the comment box. If you do need any information, you can communicate directly below this video and I'll get back to you. Take care, beautifuls. I'll see you in the Members Hub.